Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel, and recently I did a video about a guitar from a company called Vola. This is a Japanese guitar brand. And in that video, I demoed this guitar, this beautiful red guitar with a flame top. It's got a roasted maple neck. I was just talking about how great the Japanese build quality is, and the fact that it was really amazing that that guitar, despite being beautifully crafted in Japan, was only about $1,400–$1,500. And when you compare that price to like some of the Jackson guitars that are also made in Japan these days, costing like $2,500, I mean, it's a huge difference, and that guitar represented a really great value, not to mention it being a really cool guitar, beautiful looking, with some really unique electronics and pickup controls. But many of you were saying, even though compared to other guitars, that guitar was a great value. Many of you were saying, hey Max, $1,400, $1,500, that's still too expensive. And I think Vola saw some of those comments on my previous video, and so they have sent me another guitar to check out, and it is this one right here. And okay, if $1,500 is too expensive, this one is well under $1,000. This one goes for $839. And this guitar is still made in Japan and has the same pristine build quality as that other guitar. Now this one, this color right here, I love this color. They're calling this Fire Mist Silver. And this exact guitar is the Vola OZ V3 MC. Now in this video, and honestly that previous video, I've really been struggling to find the right words, the right way to describe the feel of these guitars. And the thing that keeps coming up in my mind is that this is a guitar that you can play for hours and hours and hours, and the time just kind of flies by. There's something about the feel of this guitar that kind of puts you at ease, and this is a guitar that's very relaxing to play. Maybe you could even call it therapeutic, and I think that is because of many different factors, the main ones being the shape of the neck profile. It's very thin, it's very, very comfortable. It has the satin finish on the back of the neck. The frets are finished beautifully. There's no sort of sharp edge to the fretboard, no sharp corners or anything like that. And it's a very responsive feeling neck. I mean, the notes just kind of jump out. And so you don't have to like dig in, you don't have to fight the guitar, you don't have to try very hard to get the notes to come out and to get a nice tone out of the instrument. Now let's run through some specs, and then we'll get into the demo and all that stuff. It's got an alder body. It's a one-piece neck, maple neck and fretboard, and so we've got the skunk stripe there on the back, right, because they don't have a separate fretboard to put the truss rod in. It's one piece. The hardware is still Gotoh, so we've got the tuners and the bridge here, which is the same as that $1,400 guitar. It also has the same body style and the reverse headstock, which I love. And on this guitar, because there's no locking nut, you get the full string tension on the bass strings. The longer strings are on the bass strings. And then one thing about this guitar, which I think I might even prefer over the expensive one, is this has a very simple, very traditional control layout. It's got a single volume, a single tone, and then a 5-way selector switch. And the other guitar, it had this really kind of spec'd out kind of control layout where there was a switch where you could bypass the tone control and give you just a raw direct out signal, which was really cool. And it had blade style pickups in the neck. And that pickup selector setup was really, really cool. But one of the things I mentioned in that other video was that it took a little time to kind of get used to how it worked. There was a little bit of a learning curve. This one here, this pickup configuration is so traditional, it's totally idiot-proof, which is perfect for me. And these guitars are even a very comfortable weight. I weighed this one 6.8 pounds, so just a hair under 7 pounds, which for a Strat style guitar like this, although this is certainly not a Strat body, but for that style of guitar, that's a very, very comfortable weight. Also, the shape of the body and the fact that most of the weight is in the body and not the neck keeps the neck, you know, it avoids any neck dive problems. It keeps the neck up in a really, really comfortable position. So it encourages you to have good technique, which I always love. I always love a guitar that balances well, and this one does. Okay, so under $1,000, under $900, under $850, $839, $840 for this guitar right here. And as you are about to hear, they didn't cut any corners when it comes to the sound of the guitar, because this thing sounds, it's just a beautiful sounding instrument. So let's go ahead and get into the demo. But as usual, guys, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool, new, affordable guitars, and also staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you have not already subscribed for some reason, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this in. I'm going to use my Boss IR200 amp and cabinet simulator for the demo. Let's listen to how this Japanese-made guitar sounds. Okay guys, so I talked about the responsiveness of the neck earlier in the video, and something about this guitar which is really interesting and a wonderful thing about it is that the guitar is very responsive despite not having overly hot pickups. These are, nice kind of medium gain pickups like I said, but because the neck is so responsive, this guitar strikes the perfect balance of being easy to play and responsive, but without getting rid of the, I think the nuance and the character of your playing. Because when you have a guitar that's maybe hard to play, like straight up difficult to play, you're struggling to play it, then you're really digging in, and sometimes that's good for the tone, right? It's like it makes you have a wider variety of, picking angles and all this stuff, and you're creating little harmonics, that kind of thing. So, that can be like too far to one side, where you get some really interesting sounds out of the guitar, but it's like you're struggling to play it. Then you can have some guitars like, some great shred guitars, where you're just flying all over the fretboard. It's so easy to play, but it's so easy that every note ends up sounding the same. So this guitar is like $840, and some of the other models, the higher end models are like $1,500, and the guitars tend to fall in that range, and those are sort of Schecter prices, and I said this also in the previous video. And I know, the comparison would be like, well, this is a Japanese company, and I know technically Schecter is actually kind of a Japanese company, but the production guitars are not made in Japan, and these ones are. And if we're being totally honest here, the build quality of Schecter guitars, the production ones, it's very, very good, but it's not this good. And I think if you're going to spend $850 or if you're going to spend $1450, it comes down to like how much flash do you want? Because these guitars have, I would say, the same level of craftsmanship, which is very, very high. But this guitar, it doesn't have the flame top, it doesn't have the roasted maple neck, it doesn't have the blade style pickups, it doesn't have that feature-laden pickup control system. But this guitar, I think, in most cases, is absolutely going to get the job done, and it's very, very easy to play and everything. So I think it really just comes down to like how much flash and features do you want, and the price you pay is just going to depend on your needs and what you want. So between this one and that other red one, which one would you choose? And also, guys, are there other companies, like another Japanese company that maybe I'm not thinking about that this would be a good comparison to? Speaking of comparison, right? Another Japanese company, but those guitars are generally significantly more expensive than the sub $1,000 guitars like these. But is there another company out there that I'm not thinking of? A Japanese company, Japanese manufacturing that's under $1,000? Let me know if you know of something down in the comments section below. Okay guys, as usual, I'm going to have links to all this stuff down in the video description below. I will have a link to this guitar, plus the video I did earlier of that higher end guitar, and the link for the Boss IR200, my social media, all that stuff down in the video description below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you very soon.